see. Tennessee will be a picket. Wow. Against Purdue. That game tonight will be at 6:30. And then we've got on TBS. That game will be on TBS. And then you got Virginia, Oregon. Virginia's an 8.5-point favorite. You got a game I like tonight, an upset. I like Florida State to beat Gonzaga. You like Gonzaga. Gonzaga's a 7-point favorite.
Whoa, boy, you know, I might, you're right. You take that 7 points. I believe it'll be a close game, don't you?
Yeah, that game will be on CBS. And then you got
prime time television.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you got Texas Tech against Michigan. Michigan's a 1.5-point favorite. That game will be at 8:39, and then you've got some other games in like the NIT. And
so all of these games will be on prime time. You know that.
No.
You know that ESPN is not prime time. Did you know that?
Yeah, no, some will be on TBS.
Yeah, TBS will have some of them. That's channel 48 or 44.
2 games on TBS and 2 games on CBS.
Yeah. And on Troy Cable, that is, what is that, 44 and 48? Tell me about it.
Man, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
You have
that's
to have
right.
somebody in the back.
What is it? Is it on 44 or 48?
44, 48.
44 and 48. It would be on one of those.
But don't
channels.
you want to watch your game on high definition? What's high definition channels? That's what you want to know.
Yeah. You mean, you don't think those are high definition channels?
No, not the lower channels. You're more like in the 200 range on Troy Cable if you want to watch it in high def.
Yeah. Well, and of course, those games on CBS are prime time out to the country. You know, everybody is not on cable. You know,
you can buy
the people that's got
antenna and probably pick up 20, not 20, but probably at least 15 channels.
Yeah. But there are a lot of people out there that live out in the country that are just watching 3 or 4 different channels, and one of them is CBS. So everybody gets to see that telecast, and like you said,
Bruce Pearl's come out, and I read an article that he really likes the over. He actually said that on ESPN.
Did he really?
It's 164 points between Auburn and North Carolina, and Pearl jokingly said he likes the over. Pretty amazing when the head coach thinks how many points are going to be scored.
That reminded me a little bit of
164 points. You're talking about a game like 86 to 82.
Yeah. You know, something that we were talking about yesterday, and we got probably over involved in it with Jacksonville State not being a Division 1A program like Troy is. You know, the team their big rival for all those years, and Troy's been a Division 1A football program for a long time. A friend of mine told me one time, says, if it doesn't have a line on it, I don't care anything about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Jacksonville State cannot have a line on it because it's a 1AA program.
They can in basketball.
They can in basketball. You're exactly right, but they can in football. And of course, there are 127 teams in 1A football.
Actually, we are wrong though. You know, they do have lines when they get in the playoffs. So Jacksonville State has had lines in football.
I've never seen that even in the playoffs.
Yeah, 1AA playoffs goes. They do lines.
Well, I'll tell you what is killing baseball is the kind of salaries they gave this kid from California. I mean, is anybody in this world worth the kind of money they're giving him?
I mean, Nick Saban maybe is worth all the money he makes.
All right, this guy's making money to make Nick Saban look silly. He's making $35 million a year for the next 12 years.
The biggest thing about Trout though and Harper is I wonder how much of it's guaranteed.
And looking at Harper, I wouldn't trust Harper across the street, but I would trust Trout. I think he's consistent.
Yeah. Anybody that wants to know about the Braves today? The Braves will play against Philadelphia today at 2:05 on Fox Sports Southeast. So. Anybody want to watch the Braves, who won the NL East last year?
Exactly. Now tell us what time the game is and where it's going to be played, and who they're playing.
Philadelphia, 2 o'clock.
They're playing at Philly.
Yeah, I don't know if that's Eastern time time or Central Time, though,
yeah,
so
exactly.
somebody might want to check that.
Do you know this? And a lot of people might take this for granted a little bit. You know, they think all the great sports towns are New York and Los Angeles and people like that. A lot of people say that probably the best sports town in America is not Boston. A lot of people say it's Philadelphia. Have you ever heard that?
I've heard that.
I mean, Philadelphia being one of the great sports towns in America. And don't you know that's going to be a lot of hoopla before that game?
Yeah, I've had many conversations with Brian Meadows. You know, he pitched in Pittsburgh, and a lot of people say Pittsburgh was one of the great sports towns as well.
I would think so, but it's not quite as big as Philadelphia, though. Philadelphia's a big town. I reckon you can say Atlanta's bigger than Philadelphia now, but at one time Philadelphia was the third largest city in the country. You know, behind Chicago and New York.
New York and New Jersey, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. That metro area, from all the way from Philadelphia, Baltimore to Philadelphia to New York, is pretty populated. Wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But it is fun, and this is a great. If you have
You
not,
got a lot going on right now. You got NCAA basketball. You got Major League Baseball starting up. You got spring football going on right now. Troy's got a new basketball coach, Scott Cross, that will be hopefully have a huge crowd to bring him in and support him today. And then Alabama's got a new basketball coach. A lot going on in sports.
no question about it. Remember that all starts at 10 o'clock this morning.
Your favorite team, Auburn, has got a chance to go to the Elite Eight.
Listen, what time they play, Mike? Do you know?
Say what?
What time does Auburn play?
They play tomorrow night, I think around 6:30.
The Auburn Tigers against the North Carolina as they get ready for a championship battle tomorrow night. It's Auburn and the University of North Carolina going at it at around 6:30 right here on what channel, Mike?
I'll have to look and see when that game's going to be.
I know, but will it be on CBS or where will it be on?
I'll have to look and see what channel it's going to be on.
Whatever channel they're in the Sweet 16. It's first time since what? When the last time?
2004, I believe.
2004. Now, who are some guys on that team, Mike?
I think that was Chris Porter.
That Porter, did he play in that game though? He was from Abbeville.
Yeah, I think Chris Porter was on that team.
But did he play in that game? I don't think he did he?
Why would he not play in the game? He was on the team.
Well, you know, he got in trouble, you know, didn't he?
No, he didn't get in trouble.
Yeah, he did too.
That was his junior year. That Auburn was so good.
Yeah, exactly.
He got in some trouble his senior year.
Okay. Well, he's a great player. One of the best players to ever come out of this part of the country was Chris Porter, and he played at Abbeville High School. And
Auburn plays on TBS at 6:30.
TBS at 6:30, and that will be channel 44 or 48, guys. What now? 30. It's on channel 30, Mike. Somebody go to channel 30 and tell me what.
High definition TV. If you want to watch basketball, you want to watch it on high definition. You don't want to watch it on a fuzzy 30.
Yeah, I know it. Well, where would they watch it then if they couldn't watch it on 30?
There's HD options as well. Most people at least have them. I would think.
Yeah. Okay. We'll look into that. Is it on HD, Steve? And of course, prime time. Of course, baseball will be prime time starting tonight. Or what time today? Which will be the first game?
Yeah, baseball's all day today.
Who'll be the first game?
North Carolina's a 5-point favorite in that game.
Another one. That's another opportunity for Auburn there. I think Auburn's going to play them awfully tough.
Well, it's one of those things. North Carolina's a traditional power, and they have great athletes. It's going to be interesting.
And I had my Gonzaga hat, and I forgot to bring it. I hate that. I just hate it with a passion.
You should have got more Gonzaga stuff when y'all actually stayed in Spokane.
Yeah, Gonzaga is my team.
See, Major League Baseball today, first game will be your New York Mets. No, you're a Yankees fan.
Yeah.
The Mets against the Washington Nationals started off today. Then you have St. Louis against Milwaukee.
What time is that, Mike?
The Mets think, our time.
Okay.
And then you got St. Louis, you got Atlanta, Pittsburgh against Cincinnati, you got Arizona against Los Angeles, San Francisco against San Diego.
So every team starts it off today. Is that right?
I don't know about every. I'm trying to see. Colorado Rockies against Miami. You got Baltimore Orioles against New York.
Boy, it sounds like it, doesn't
Against
it?
Toronto. Houston against Tampa. Los Angeles against Oakland. Yeah, you might have every team playing today. Cleveland against Minnesota. White Sox against Kansas City. The Red Sox against the Mariners. And Chicago Cubs against the Texas Rangers.
Yeah. We got a call coming in, Mike. Let me catch it a second. Good morning, you're on Today in L.A. How you doing?
Hey, Mike, it's Will Matthews.
Will Matthews is calling in from Ozark this morning. How you doing?
Very good.
Of course, we get it started in the major leagues, and we've got the Sweet 16. What do you think?
Hey, I could care less about baseball. Baseball doesn't do anything for me till it gets down to the playoffs.
Yeah. We were talking about some sad news today out of Troy. Wiley Sanders, the
Oh yeah, I saw that. I saw that on your Facebook. He was a fine fellow. I love Mr. Wiley.
well, he was a man that walked to his own drummer, buddy, and he ran a business and created a business that next to none of these parts.
How old was Mr. Wiley?
He was 78 years old.
How much?
78.
Okay, I knew he was close to 8.
And of course, started everything back in 1959, and he started with one truck, and then his businesses grew from there. The Sanders companies, no telling what the value of those companies are.
My daddy did legal work for him back in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah, and well, he is a very well-known figure in these parts, and did so many things to make Troy and surrounding areas a great place to live. He provided employment over. We were trying to figure today how many people they employ. I would say 1,500 to 2,000 if you considered all the companies that they own.
Oh yeah, at least.
And even people in Ozark probably have benefited from the employment. I'm sure there are people in Ozark that work for him, don't you think?
Oh, there are lots of people in Ozark work for him.
Yeah, and
Oh yeah.
no question about it. Will Matthews is calling from Ozark. Will, let me bring you in there with Mike. Y'all like to talk at the same time. I'm going to put you on hold here, and we're going to go Stadium Club here, and then here. All right, I got both of you or one of you? Who do I have?
I'm on.
Mike, you on? Oh, let me see. I'll bring him in from right here. All right, I got both of you. How you doing? Mike? Go ahead.
Hey, I'm on.
All right, Will, you on?
Yeah, I'm on.
Okay, Will Matthews is joining us from, are you still in Dothan or are you in Ozark?
I am headed to my office. I'm about halfway.
Of course, the lead story today is the death of Wiley Sanders, and what a great man and what a great vision. You don't do something like that, and we've talked about this before. He started off and he was not successful, but he didn't quit. He had an eye on a goal and kept doing it, and he built that program from the ground floor, and that business from the ground floor, and rest is history. Even folks in Ozark and all over this part of the country, Wiley Sanders was a well-known name, wasn't it?
He employed people all over the place. Elba, Ozark, all our surrounding little towns.
And and of course, his companies were very successful, and like you said, provided good jobs too. They weren't just ordinary jobs; they were good jobs. They were one of them.
Yep.
And
this guy Troy hired for basketball coach.
Well, he is a guy that got his start out in Texas, Arlington, Texas, and he played for the University of Texas at Arlington, and he later coached with them. Mike, he was an assistant coach prior to being the head coach, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was assistant for 8 years, head coach for 12 years. I mean, he's put up phenomenal numbers in the Sun Belt Conference. I think some of the years are in the Southland Conference, but you know, he won 27 games, got fired, actually going 21 and 13, which is kind of unheard of. But
that was in 2017. That wasn't long ago, was it?
Yeah, he's only not been a head coach for 1 year. He's been at TCU, and TCU is going to the Final Four in the NIT right now. Jamie Dixon's a great coach at TCU that was at Pittsburgh for so many years.
You know, after you know,
he's a really good hire, Will, for Troy to get a guy like this with that much experience in the Sun Belt, competing in the Sun Belt. You couldn't ask for more.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm sure.
Now Alabama just hired your favorite coach and your favorite team, Buffalo, Nate Oates. Is Alabama's new coach? What do you think about that?
I tell you what, I'm excited about this guy. And everybody's putting it down. I'm gonna tell you something. This guy can coach and he can recruit. If you can recruit players to Buffalo, what do you think you can do to Alabama?
Oh yeah, no question.
I mean, the guy's young and he's smart, and I'll tell you what, I'm happy with it. I don't know where Greg Byrne thought about getting him, but he went right after him and got him.
He really did. You know, and it was almost like, I better get him right now, we won't get him. Is that right?
Well, you know, he contacted him the minute they got beat. He contacted him.
Yeah. And now let me tell you this. They have been searching way before then. You know, don't you feel like that they were going to make a move a month ago?
I don't think they were going to make a move until they lost to Norfolk State.
Really?
That was. I think they'd have kept. I think they'd have kept Johnson another year. But after that, you don't lose to somebody ranked 250th in the country.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, on your home court. My God, it was awful.
Well, let's just say this, though, my friend. He went laughing all the way to the bank. I think his payoff was between $6 and $8 million, and he doesn't have to hit a lick at a snake.
Oh, he'll be back coaching somewhere.
No, I bet he won't, though, with that kind of buyout.
Now you got to get your other school, Vanderbilt. You got to get Vandy a coach now.
Yeah, you're right. I think Vandy needs a football coach, too. I think you've given this guy plenty of time to build a program.
They just gave the football coach a 5-year extension.
Oh, gosh. They don't plan to win.
If you can go 6-6 at Vandy, you can keep a job for a long time.
I know, and I'm saying that, yeah, 6-6 is as good as they're going to get, you know.
I tell you what he's done, though. He's beaten Tennessee 3 straight years.
That'll help you keep your job on it, because that was a nasty you know, game that they had every year at Tennessee. I remember for a long time Tennessee people would have more people at the game than Vanderbilt. You remember that?
Oh yeah, I went to Vanderbilt.
Yeah, I know it. And the competition, of course, you know, Tennessee people have always thrown up their nose in football against Vanderbilt, and like Mike just said, Vanderbilt won the last 3 years.
Yeah, Tennessee's on hard times.
Yeah. But, you know, don't you think they'll get out of it? I mean, at one time, it was a top 10 program in this country. Don't you agree?
Well, and when Palmer was there, they were doing well, and they fired him. They thought they could do better. And
boy, he sure did have Alabama's number. Fulmer did. I'd like to know how many games he beat Alabama, Mike, over the years.
I know he won 7 of 8.
I know it, and let me tell you this, Fulmer.
Alabama's beating Tennessee 12 in a row right now.
Oh yeah, 12 in a row right now. No, don't you know that's killing them? That's killing them.
Mike, I knew Philip Fulmer when he was at Vanderbilt as an assistant coach.
I did not know he was at Vanderbilt. He was a former Tennessee linebacker, wasn't he, or center?
He was a lineman. But guess who else was there at Vanderbilt when Philip Fulmer was there?
Steve Sloan.
Bill Parcells was there.
Bill Parcells.
Yeah, I knew Parcells coached there.
Uh-huh.
Steve Sloan had a great staff there.
Yeah, he did. Steve Sloan, I thought was a good pick for Vanderbilt. He's from Cleveland, Mississippi. Cleveland, Tennessee, excuse me. Cleveland, Tennessee. You know, people forget about Steve Sloan. You know, there was, you know, they had Namath, they had Sloan, Then they had Stabler. Then they had my buddy from Mobile.
Richard Todd.
No, not Todd, but oh gosh, Todd came later. Oh, well, our great quarterback that went head to head, Scott Hunter. Scott Hunter, you know, those were four, and then Todd came, and Rutledge came, and those were all pretty good. And then a young man from Dothan named Stedman Shealy. Do you think you can get Stedman Shealy on my show, Will?
He's living in Tuscaloosa now.
Do you know him personally?
Yeah.
Hey, he was quite a football player, didn't you think?
Yeah, he was a very good football player.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you another very good football player, and you could walk out your front door of your law firm right now and throw a rock and hit this guy in the head when he walks in the clothing store, couldn't you?
Yep, Terry Davis.
Terry Davis, the Bogalusa Rifle. Have you ever heard him named that? Bogalusa Rifle from Bogalusa, Louisiana, was Alabama's first wishbone quarterback. And he was a good one, wasn't he?
Very good.
What kind of fella is Terry Davis? Do you ever talk to him about football much?
You know, usually we talk about golf. He loves to play golf.
He's probably a pretty good golfer, isn't he?
Very good golf. Very good golf.
Yeah, and of course he played. Where do they play now? They in Ozark. Where does everybody play? Or do they go to Dothan?
They play in Dothan.
Yeah, you're not talking right through your mic. We're not getting a very good reception right now. Have you eaten breakfast yet?
No, not yet.
But you usually stop by and buy breakfast on your way to the office. Is that right?
No, my breakfast is sitting on my right-hand seat over here. I'll eat it when I get to the office.
So, Will, who's going to win the basketball games tonight?
Well, tell me who's playing tonight.
You got Tennessee, Purdue. Who's going to win that?
I like Tennessee in that one.
Well, I tell you, Purdue's really good. They had a guy that scored 42 in the last game.
I think Tennessee's got. I think that Williams kid is going to dominate that game. I like him.
Of course, it's the Sweet 16, and you know, I was trying to.
Who else? Well, I know Virginia and Oregon are playing.
Yeah, Virginia's an 8.5-point favorites. And the game I like for upset tonight, I like Florida State to beat Gonzaga.
I think they will beat Gonzaga.
And how many points do you say Florida State's getting, Mike?
7 or 8.
They're getting
Boy, I would think that would be a pretty good. I would think.
I think they'll beat them.
Then you got Texas Tech, Michigan, 1.5.
Now, I tell you what, everybody says Michigan State's going to beat them and all this, but I'm going to tell you that Texas Tech's got a good team.
Yeah, they got a great coach. Coach Beard was actually at Arkansas Little Rock, and they used to come in and play Troy. He was a Bobby Knight guy at Texas Tech before, and a lot of people were mentioning Beard for the Alabama job, but apparently he was getting paid $3 million at Texas Tech.
Yeah, he wasn't leaving there. Yeah.
But I tell you what, that Michigan coach, Coach Beeline, is one of the best in the country.
He's very good. Now, who do they play?
They play Texas Tech.
Okay, it's going to be a good game, but I like Texas Tech.
You know, I was at the regional tournament when his what do they call them, the Fed Five? What was it? Those Michigan team.
The Fed Five was Chris Weber, John Rose.
They were playing in the Atlanta region, and on that same tournament was when when South Alabama beat Alabama. Alabama blew a 18-point halftime lead and let South Alabama come back and beat them.
Yeah, Will Sanderson can't even talk about that game. Yeah.
That one would have to make him sick.
They say that's Will's most devastating loss of all time.
Because it was a good Alabama team, and South Alabama,
Alabama had 2 guards, and they called them peanut butter and jelly, and they just lit Alabama up.
But what else? They had a foreigner, a guy from somewhere overseas, a big 6'11" guy that was real good for them, too. I was at that game. Me and Johnny Williams went to that game.
Was the coach.
Huh?
Ronnie Arrow was the coach
That's
of
right.
South Alabama.
Ronnie Arrow, and he became famous after that. And but you know what? He's the only coach that I can remember that came back to the same school, and you know he stayed away, and then they hired him back. and he never was the same. He just never was the same after he came back for a second time.
Yeah, Mike Riley kind of did the same thing in football when he came back to Oregon State.
Yeah, exactly.
And who was the guy from Mariana that coached South Alabama and Auburn and went to Clemson?
Oh,
Cliff
Cliff
Ellis.
Ellis, yeah.
And didn't he leave South Alabama and come back to South Alabama?
He might have.
No, he ended up going to Coastal.
But you know, he also was a rock star, Will. He played rock and roll music in a band.
Yeah.
Still does. They say he still plays in the band. So.
Alabama's got 5 guys in the transfer portal right now in basketball. You think this new coach is going to be able to convince any of them to stay?
He'll probably tell them to go home.
I tell you, the guy that's the most disappointing is John Petty. Was Alabama State Basketball Player of the Year 2 years in a row, and it's just not lived up to the hype at all at Alabama. He's in the portal, so is Kyle Lewis. Now, Kyle Lewis, the 17-year-old, averaged 14 points a game.
Yeah.
As a 17-year-old, I hope there's some way that he might keep him.
You know, I'm like you, Mike. I tell that other guy that, hey, man, we're glad you played here. Just go on and do what you want to do. But the young guy, I think they need to try to keep him.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
What about Dante Hall?
He's a senior. He's gone.
From Luverne, and hopefully he'll go to the pros. But
he's not going to go to the NBA, but he can play in Europe probably.
Mike, how do you know that, Mike Amos? I want to know how you know that.
You know, I know that because he cannot turn around and hit a 5-foot jump shot. He can only score hitting a layup or a dunk.
You know, in college, Robert Horry was sort of like that. Did you know Robert Horry was sort of like that in college? He couldn't shoot.
Robert Horry hit eight threes in a game in college, Dad. Robert Horry could shoot lights out.
Well, I didn't think he was a great shooter. He looked like he didn't have much touch, especially inside.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, you got Robert Horry mixed up with
No,
somebody
he used
else.
to slam it in there. He didn't have a great touch from 10, 15 feet.
Every single player that played for Alabama had a great touch. Melvin Cheatham could shoot lights out. Michael Ainsley, David Benoit, Robert Horry, Buck Johnson. I mean, all those guys
did Buck Johnson play with Robert Horry? He didn't play with Robert Horry, did he? Buck Johnson did he?
No, he played with Bobby Lee Hurd.
Yeah, Bobby Lee Hurd, yeah. And, Coach, we're talking basketball, and I think Auburn is in a good position tonight. I'm gonna take Auburn to beat Carolina tonight.
This is a young North Carolina team, and Auburn's got a lot of veterans.
It's not tonight; it's tomorrow night.
I'd be shocked if Auburn won.
I think Auburn plays Friday night, don't they?
Yeah, I changed my. Yeah, you're right. It's Friday night. I was looking at the high school baseball. Charles Henderson, boy, they're on fire. They're 16-4, and they're playing up in Fort Payne today, and St. Paul's #1. Carroll High Ozark's got a good team too. Will, I know you're proud of them.
Oh yeah, they got good baseball here.
And of course, Class 6A, we don't have anybody in 6A, and in Class. Look here, Class 7A, Mike, the Smith Station's #1, followed by Bob Jones. And then Oak Mountain, our guy that led Troy to 2 state championships, who's coaching at Oak Mountain now, has them 19-3 and ranked 3rd in the country, or in the state. So we wanted to throw that out. And also some other teams in our area. Headland is ranked 13th or 14th in Class 4A. Host Bluff is 12-2. But in Class 3A is when you start looking at South Alabama. St. James is #1, followed by Gordo. Then Providence Christian out of Dothan, 14-6. Will a lot of Dothan kids go to Providence, but a lot of Ozark and other kids go to Providence, don't they?
No, I don't think Ozark kids do. But
well, isn't it a private school? Isn't Providence a private school?
It's private. HA's private, and then they've got another.
Yeah, I mean, Ozark's kids go to GW Long, don't they?
Yeah, a lot of them go to
good
GW.
ones. Yeah, the good baseball players in Ozark, they get them when they're about 10 years old, and they move to Skipperville. So they.
I tell you what, I walked in through their dugout the other day. They were going to play in a tournament. It's been about 3 weeks ago, and they looked like a seasoned 7A program. I mean, they were a good-looking baseball team. And the coach came up and hugged my neck and said, "Yeah, man, you're still supporting Troy, and we joked about it. And of course, he played at Troy and was a great player. You know, all those boys and their daddy was a great coach. In fact, their daddy's the one that started it all long. Yeah.
They're all, yeah.
But I also want to mention too.
What about the Max play yesterday, Will? Did you watch any of that?
I did, and it's very interesting. It looks like a really good coach.
Yeah. But before I get off baseball, I want to say that G.W. Long is ranked number 1 in 2A with a 17-2 record. Arrington is ranked 6th with a 16-8 record. And how about this, Mike? Highland Home is 13-3 and ranked 5th in the state. So congratulations to them. And Old Title Town, Mike, is ranked number 2. That's Brantley, 1A Brantley, 14-5, is number 2 in the state. And I wanted to
guess who's number 1 in the nation in the United States in golf?
Who?
Vanderbilt Commodores.
Really? They're that good?
They're that good, yes.
Lakeside in the Alabama Independent Schools, Lakeside ranks 6th. They're 19-3. Morgan with a great, they've got a great player on Morgan's team. They're 14-0. And Pike Liberal right here in Troy ranked 8th with a 17-7 record. And gosh, before long they'll be playing in the playoffs. Can you believe all that?
Yes, won't be long.
Well, this guy here, Bryce Harper, has a $330 million budget to work on. He has just signed a contract making $333 million over 13 years. What do you think about that?
That's ridiculous, but you know.
But what's more ridiculous is this guy from the California Angels making what, Mike? $35 million over 12 years.
Yeah, I think it's. He signed for over $400 million, didn't he?
Yeah. I mean, why in the world? How could anybody? But you know what? There are 2 soccer players, Will, that make more than that. Can you believe that? 2 soccer players make more than that. $35 million a year.
They sell tickets, like, yeah.
Boy, oh boy, you know, can you believe that they make such a fuss over in England and France and all these places like that, and of course about soccer? I mean, can you believe that all those people go watch a bunch of guys kicking a little ball around?
Well, look at golf. How much?
And they have no hands now. They have no hands. That's the big deal. Is they kick it around without any hands. The only guy that can use his hands are those guys where the net is, you know.
The goalie?
Yeah. Wait a minute now, Will. You're not using the bathroom, are you?
What now?
Somebody's using the bathroom. I don't know who it is. I heard something flush. Hope you enjoyed our show. We'll be back right after this.
Piggly Wiggly's local butchers are on site at both stores and will help you select the best cuts of meat and trim them to your liking. Our USDA Choice beef is the most consistently tender, juicy, and flavorful beef you can buy, all at cost plus 10%.
Tori Dunn from Dixie Trails. You get your truck washed here?
I sure do.
Millie Johnson, I know you're not bringing them cow trucks over here.
I do, and they're like me when I leave.
Loretta, what are you doing?
Getting my car detailed.
At Trojan Detail, we do it all.
Trojan Auto Parts of Troy, home of Napa Know-How. Stop by and see owners Mike and Melissa Kilcrease and their Napa Know-How team with over 100 years of combined experience. We're the only locally owned parts store in Pike County, and we're fully stocked and ready to serve you. We pride ourselves on being your go-to parts store, not only for the simple items, but we specialize in those hard-to-find items as well. Trojan Auto Parts, the right part at the right price at the right time. Napa, a name you've trusted here in Troy since 1945.
Napa Know-How. Why buy from Pike County Ford? We live local. Troy is our home, so you'll always be dealing with hometown folks who are all about Troy. We'll beat any legitimate written offer you bring in, so you know you're getting the best deal guaranteed. And no matter what you buy from Pike County Ford, you can always count on the best service before and after the sale. Bottom line, you get good people, a better product, and the best deal, guaranteed. Pike County Ford in Troy, never too far for a far better deal.
If you've had an accident or just want a new look for your vehicle, come see us at Troy Paint and Body, where we do it right the first time. Our staff has more than 100 years combined experience and can handle repairs and paint work on any make or model. We also offer a lifetime guarantee as long as you own your vehicle. Our 24-hour towing service means we're here when you need us. Troy Paint and Body, where we may meet by accident, but you'll be glad we did. So come see us at Troy Paint and Body, located on South Brundage Street in Troy beside the post office.
Back to our show, ladies and gentlemen, brought to you by our good friends at Horn Beverage right here in Troy, and also Trojan Detail, and of course our good friend Jeffrey Bennett and those folks that make your car and truck look like new. Again, ladies and gentlemen, the whole city and county and surrounding areas are shocked at the news that Wiley Sanders has died in a Montgomery hospital, and our hearts and our prayers go out to his children and his family. And I've known the Sanders family all my life, and great people. And of course, even folks in Ozark are hit hard by this. The folks in Enterprise, Andalusia, Greenville, Luverne, all this general area around here. A lot of the people that live in those areas worked and were employed by Sanders companies. What do you think?
Oh, yeah.
So, of course, a man that hey, he marched to his own drummer and he built a business from ground floor. And he would admit that he made some mistakes early in business, but he kept going and kept reaching and kept working toward that major goal, and he did it, and did it very well. And the Sanders companies are, I would say, one of the largest industries in Alabama. When you think the Sanders companies.
Oh yeah.
No question about it. And great people. He's hired a bunch of great people, and of course, some of my good friends have been employed with him for quite a while. Of course, again, that funeral will be Saturday.
That is a good question. Who is the biggest industry in Alabama that has the most people? University of Alabama has 38,000 students now. I wonder how many people they employ.
Oh, I don't know, but I tell you,
I think the biggest
Drummond, wouldn't it?
In Alabama is probably NASA.
Yeah, the Drummonds are pretty big too. The coal mining folks, the Drummonds.
Yeah.
They got some big industry down in Tuscaloosa, Mercedes.
Yeah.
Now I'll tell you, the steel company down there in Mobile County employs about 30,000 people.
Oh yeah. Well, we're not talking about the large. You're right. As far as numbers, I'm sure there's a lot of people that might have employed more numbers. But let me just say this: 1,500, 2,000 employees. A lot of employees from where I come from, and of course he built that program from scratch. And what I'd love to see one day is somebody write a book about him. He was a guy that kept to himself quite a bit, and of course he had good times. He just didn't let you know about it. I mean, what he did in a private way, and he didn't want to for anybody to know if he was giving a bunch of money to a certain company or certain cause. He just did it. He didn't try to show off. He wasn't that kind of guy. Of course, he had airplanes, Will. He had an airplane museum out of the airport at Campbell Field in Troy that is one of the most impressive group of old airplanes you'll find anywhere in the world, right here in Troy, Alabama. Did you know that, Will?
I did know that, but I want to tell you something I forgot to tell you that I will tell you that I have a friend that's he's kind of an insider as far as coaching things go. Arkansas is going to hire the Oklahoma coach.
The former Oklahoma coach, which would be a great move.
Well, he's at Houston now, but they've got to wait till after Houston gets beat.
You're talking about Kelvin Sampson?
Kelvin Sampson.
Oh, you were talking about basketball. I'm sorry.
And then Texas A&M is hiring Buzz Williams at Virginia Tech. He's going to go to A&M. And you're not going to believe who Vandy's going to hire. Vandy's going to get the best coach of all of them.
Petrino?
Nope.
They're going to get
Florida. We lost to Duke by 1 point.
Yeah.
He's a good coach.
Yeah.
You know, that makes sense because Dawkins was at Stanford, and he would know what it would take to get players into Vandy.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I tell you what, you know who was one of the strongest supporters of Vanderbilt for years and years was old Ernest Tubb. Isn't that right, old Ernest Tubb? And he would have the after hours at the Grand Ole Opry, and his son, Ernest Jr., all of them used to go to all the Vanderbilt games. Is that right?
There are a lot of those country music people go, and they sing the national anthem, too.
Their national anthem was
basketball is in Nashville. I was watching David Liscombe, who Troy used to play several times, and Liscombe has always had a great basketball program. They went on the road in the third round of the NIT last night and played in front of 14,000 at NC State and beat NC State. Lipscomb had a guy last night score 45.
God.
And they have advanced now to the Final Four in New York. So that's got to be pretty big for a school like Lipscomb to be playing in the Final Four of the NIT.
Was he a shooting guard or was he a big guy inside?
Yeah, he was a guard slash. He was a two guard, but guy could jump out of the gym and shoot the three.
And you know Lipscomb only has like 2,000 or 3,000 students.
Yes, it's the Church of Christ school.
Yeah, this guy looked like kind of looked like Jim Farmer.
Well, you could throw a rock. You could throw a rock and hit Belmont or Lipscomb from Vanderbilt Gymnasium, couldn't you?
You know, Wimp's son used to coach Lipscomb.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And then he came to another, the school here in Montgomery's. That's a.
No, that was Jim Farmer. I mean, that was Jim Sanderson, coached the one in Faulkner. That was another Sanderson that coached at Lipscomb.
Okay, I got you.
He had two different sons that were head coaches. Scott, yeah.
Yeah, and both of them were Church of Christ schools too. You know, Faulkner's a Church of Christ school.
And then his son Barry coached at South Carolina and coached for Wimp at Arkansas Little Rock. And Barry's the head coach at TA, Tuscaloosa Academy.
We very appreciate Max Federal Credit Union being one of our prime sponsors today, and we appreciate them, and also our good friends at Dixieland Dental, located 9 miles north of Dothan on Highway 231. Dr. Michael Precise, Dr. John Strength, Dr. Damon Strength, and Dr. Robert Precise make up one of the largest dental clinics in Alabama. Will Matthews.
Vanderbilt hires, if they hire Dawkins, they need to get Dawkins' son to come because his son scored 32 points against Duke.
I wonder who's that guy.
Well,
son? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, Mike, who is the best player out there? Is it the kid from Murray State, or is it the kid from?
It's got to be Zion Williams. I mean, Williams scored 32 against Central Florida, and I mean, he's just a beast. I mean, he's 6'7", 270 pounds. Nobody can stop him.
Yeah.
And he's a big center for who now?
Well, no, he's like a wing. You know, he can actually. You know, I mean, he's like a LeBron James. He can do it all.
He's that big, and he plays for who now?
He plays for Duke.
Oh yeah, plays for Duke. Yeah, he's the one that ran out of his shoes that is going to get rich because of it. Is that right?
Well, he's already going to be the first pick in the draft.
Yeah. But he's going to end up getting something for running out of those shoes. That was something wrong with that pair of shoes. Don't you agree?
Well, I mean, obviously something happened, but I mean, you know, when you weigh that much and you're that powerful, I guess it can happen.
Exactly right. Well, of course, this is a busy time of the year, especially for basketball coaches. And Mike, I was going to ask you, the Troy coach, after he meets the people, and he'll meet them today at 10 o'clock from the 4th floor at the Stadium Club. And will he join the TCU staff at their basketball game, or will he just? I'm
sure all that's got to be talked about beforehand. I would imagine that he will just be in Troy and not coach in the Final Four of the NIT. I would not think.
But now,
but I guess who knows? I mean, I guess we'll just wait and see.
But have they made it to New York? Is that right?
Yeah, they made it to New York. They're playing.
Well, I would think it would be a lot of fun to do that. I would think that he would fly up there and be a part of that.
Well, maybe he will.
They play next week. Oh, yeah, he's got all week. I bet he ends up coaching on that team.
It'll be TCU in Texas.
Yeah.
TCU in Texas and Wichita State and David Lipscomb.
Oh, man, is that who it is? Say that one more time. TCU in Texas.
And Wichita State against David Lipscomb.
And all that. So you got 3 of those from the Wichita State's from Texas too, isn't it?
No, they're from Kansas.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. So you tell me. All right. You got. Tell them to me one more time. All 4 of them.
What's Wichita State's nickname?
Oh.
The Shockers.
The Shockers. Yeah, the Shockers. Do you know something that?
Wichita State was the legendary baseball program.
You know, years and years ago, Wichita State had several players killed in a plane crash. Do y'all remember that? You remember that, Will?
No, I don't remember that.
You know, of course, they've always had a good.
I remember Marshall football team.
I'll tell you something about them. They have a good basketball program and a very good baseball program at Wichita State. No question
they don't
about
play
it.
football.
No. But the other 2, though, Mike, you had Wichita State, you had Texas and TCU, and what was the other one?
David Lipscomb.
Lipscomb. So that is 4. That's huge for Lipscomb's program. When you say, Will, I bet that's the first time they've ever reached that, gone that high in the NIT.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Because they haven't been Division I that long either.
They won a bunch of championships in NIA.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're exactly right. They're a good baseball program, too. And them what would have been a great game would have been between the 3, Belmont, Vanderbilt, and that would be a pretty good rivalry, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, Belmont had a great team. They barely got beat in the NCAA tournament, but they won the play-in game.
Yeah, and I tell you, they've got a great program and a great. Isn't that amazing that they all are right there together?
Mike, Lipscomb's golf coach and I are very good friends, and his name is Will Brewer.
Yeah.
And Will played at Lipscomb when I played at Vandy, so we used to have matches and play. We would play Lipscomb.
Okay.
And they had the national senior, no, it was the national blind golfer tournament.
Isn't that amazing? Charlie Boswell.
It was in Nashville back in the 70s.
And Charlie Boswell probably started it, didn't he?
Yep, Charlie Boswell was playing, and there was a lawyer from New Orleans that was blind named Pat Brown.
Yeah.
And before the tournament, the day before the tournament, we had a 9-hole match. Will Brewer and I played Charlie Boswell and Pat Brown in a 9-hole match, and we were blindfolded.
Oh no! They don't be saying that, Will.
Oh yeah.
Will, is that true? Is that true?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And, you would be surprised. I could hit the ball all right with blindfolded, but where it became.
Your alignment.
Yeah, if you ever got in a sand trap with blindfold on, it was ridiculous to get out. I mean,
I'm not making fun of blind golfers. I'm making fun of Will playing blind and gets one of the all-time blind golfers of all time, who was Bear Bryant's best buddy, was Charlie Boswell.
And Charlie Boswell, now he didn't play well, but Pat Brown shot a 37 and he's blind.
Oh me. Now they did place the ball down and said, well, this is all you need to do is just pull the club back. Is that right?
Oh yeah, you had somebody put the club behind the ball.
Yeah.
And then you can hit it. And then when you putted, they tapped, put putter behind the ball, lined up your putter.
Yeah.
And then they tapped the flag down where you could hear where it was.
Well, that is amazing. Of course, it's a big weekend. We start baseball today. Is that right, Mike? What time? The Mets play.
Noon today.
Yeah, noon today. Baseball season starts across the country, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And all these. Then, of course, in basketball, the Sweet 16. Auburn plays tomorrow night against North Carolina. And now North Carolina, Mike, is what, second or third rated team in the country, or what?
Yeah, I mean they're definitely a #1 seed, so they got to be one of the top 4.
Yeah, and of course, I just like Auburn in this game for some reason. I just like them.
I mean, Auburn's won 28 games. North Carolina's won 29.
Yeah, boy, oh boy.
Auburn's won 10 games in a row too. They're hot.
Yeah, no question about it.
This will be the second time that they win tonight that they've ever made it to the Elite Eight. Sonny Smith had a team that went to the Elite Eight.
And I'm about like you, Mike. Especially if you're getting 7 points. Gosh, Florida State looks pretty good here, don't they?
Yeah, Florida State's one of the most athletic, most talented teams left. So I think that they would definitely be able to match up pretty well with Gonzaga.
Do you know he sat on the bench, the coach at Florida State sat on the bench with Wimp for how many years, you reckon? Didn't he coach at Alabama?
Years he coached with Wimp, not long, maybe 1 or 2.
I thought he stayed on there longer than that. But he coached under Wimp for a while, didn't he?
Yeah, him and Wimp are friends. A lot of people don't realize Leonard Hamilton's 70 years old.
Yeah, I knew that. I knew it a long time. He's almost as old as your daddy.
He got his start at Kentucky under Joe B. Hall.
Yeah, Joe B. Hall. Yes, sir. The Big Blue. I used to listen to Kaywood Ledford, the great announcer. Did you ever listen to him, Will?
Oh, yeah.
The Big Blue, Kentucky basketball.
You remember John Ward that called the Tennessee game?
Yeah, sure do. He was a great signal
His
caller.
famous line was give him 6, wasn't it?
Yeah, something similar to that. But then, of course, the guy from Georgia.
The greatest ever was Munson.
Yeah, Munson. Better hunker down, dogs. Hunker down, dogs. Georgia's got it. Georgia's got it.
The most annoying ever was Jim Five.
Yeah, touchdown Auburn. I thought he was great. I knew Jim very well, Mike. He was a diabetic.
The best radio ever though is when Auburn was losing a game and you had to listen to Five. That was some of the best radio you could ever listen to.
The best radio I've ever heard was snap back, touchdown, kicks up. It is high enough. It is far enough. It is good. And with timeout on the field, the score: Alabama 44, Auburn 14. It hit and knocked down by Woodrow Lowe at the Alabama 14-yard line, and the Crimson Tide will take the ball on down as the youngster from Phoenix City is being lifted up off the ground across the way by Coach Paul Bear Bryant.
I tell you, one of the best radio shows in Birmingham for a long time was Doug Layton and John Ed Willoughby. What a funny show.
Good. But you knew who I was trying to sound like, don't you?
John Forney?
John Forney. Musso. The give to Johnny Musso. Touchdown, Alabama. Did that sound like Forney?
I guess I was alive when Forney came back. Didn't Perkins get rid of Forney?
Yeah, and I hated that. I liked, or did he bring him back? What was that deal on that, Will?
Perkins got rid of Forney and brought in a guy.
That's right.
That did the Van Tiffin kick. It was really good.
The kick is good. The kick is good. You say the kick is good. The kick is good. The kick is good. You know what play that was, don't you?
The guy he brought in ended up being Florida State's announcer for several years. I can't think of his name right now.
And he was good. He was young and good. He did a good job.
I mean, Eli Gold's been Alabama's announcer for a long time now.
And he is probably one of the nation's most respected broadcasters. He is well read all over this country. He's a big stock car announcer too. NASCAR, yeah. But he's a great one. And
I'll say Auburn's football crew is one of the biggest homer crews you'll ever hear in your life. Rob Bradley, Stan Ryder. I mean, they're like dying on every play.
You're right. You're exactly right. You're exactly right. But hey, over at third base is good old Tony Cuccinelli. Ladies and gentlemen, the choicest product of the Brewers Ark, Falstaff beer. Is that right? With old Dizzy Dean was one of my favorites. That was a blue darter, he used to say. And
growing up, Harry Carey was the announcer for the Cardinals and not the Cubs, wasn't he?
I've got a great one on him. Pettit, jumps, looks, shoots, good as a Bush Bavarian beer at your favorite grocery market. That was Harry Carey when he used to do St. Louis.
Harry Carey and Jack Buck doing Cardinals games?
No, he used to do Cardinals games back when the great Bob Pettit played, and they beat Bill Russell for the national championship in the NBA. and I used to listen to him all the time on WKMX radio out of St. Louis. And before he went to the Cubs, he was a St. Louis announcer, Mike. And you know, that was fun. It's fun to knock around like that. And of course, I know we look foolish trying to talk like that.
You had Ernie Johnson and Carey's son, Skip Carey.
Yeah, that's right. And you know, we don't talk enough about the one that died. Wasn't that sad? You know, he was in his prime. You know, Chip Carey. You remember that?
Skip Carey, yeah, he died pretty young. Yeah,
I know. And I tell you, it was real sad to think about him, you know, leaving us at an early age, no question. Of course, today is a day that many people in Troy and surrounding areas will remember for a while, the day that it was announced that Wiley Sanders, the owner and top executive of the Sanders companies, has died, and his funeral will be Saturday from Green Hills Memorial Cemetery, with a visitation from 9 to 12, and the funeral will be at 12 o'clock on Saturday from Green Hills Funeral Home right here in Troy. And our prayers and our thoughts go with he and his family and the thousands of friends and employees of the Sanders Company. And we're definitely saddened by all this. And of course, a young man that grew up in Troy, Alabama on Orange Street, bought one truck in 1959, and he was off to the races. And what a life, what a life. He's also a pilot, Mike, a very good pilot, and loved to fly planes, and he loved to buy these old World War II planes. And, you know, his planes, I don't know if you know this or not, Mike, won many national airplane races. They used to have the airplane races out in Nevada, and his pilots and his planes won several of those events over the years. They were well known in racing airplanes over the years. Did you realize that? We've got a call coming in, but it's off now. Mike Amos is calling in from from Graydon Beach. It's going to be a good weekend down there, or what do you know? He's not on the air right now, but we'll take it from here. Of course, the weather tonight will be cool again. It was right at 35, 36 degrees in Troy this morning, one of the coldest areas of the state. And we're expecting, again, more cold weather tonight, but it will warm up and be very pleasant as the day goes on. So we'll be looking at that. We appreciate our sponsors so much, the Withington Agency. Remember, you're in good hands with Allstate at the Withington Agency right here in Troy. And, of course, Jeff at Quality Roofing, we appreciate him so much. And First National Bank of Troy Brundage, where you're the only bank, it's the only bank you'll ever need. Troy Bank and Trust Company, and of course Hook's Barbecue. Mike, how do you rate Hook's Barbecue? Hello. We're going to have to hang up on him. I think he's already hung up on us, but try the ribs. They're outstanding. Pike County Ford on the bypass right now has got some sales you won't believe going on Highway 231 South. F-150s at a price you won't believe at Pike County Ford right here in Troy. And also I want to mention my good friends at Piggly Wiggly, and boy, they've got some great sales going on there today, and they've got those ribs on sale. Let me tell you, it's cost plus 10%, and the food is outstanding. And of course, also from their restaurant located right there on the premises of Piggly Wiggly. We hope you've enjoyed our show, and again, we hate to bring you bad news, but at the same time, we want to honor Wiley Sanders with as many things about him. And of course, there's a lot of people that know a lot more about Wiley Sanders than me, but I did grow up in his era. I remember him so very well, and I'll always remember what he did with a small business that he built into a giant business right here in Troy, Pike County, Alabama. Hope you enjoyed our show on Facebook today. We're across the nation, across the world, and you can watch us again at 1:30. We'll come back on the air at 1:30, or you can go on Facebook and find us again. So we hope that you've enjoyed our show. And again, we'll see you bright and early in the morning for Today in LA.